Hi, I'm Phyllis, and my website is southernfrugal.com. Today we're going to do some more acorn squash, and this time we're going to make it like a dessert. So I want to thank Sharon Opstbaum again for telling us all about the acorn squash. And remember, this was a week or so ago, and we fixed the pork chops. We set it right down on the pork chop, wrapped it up with tin foil. So this time I went ahead and cleaned it out. And by the way, this is a lid from a can. I don't even remember what can, but it cleaned out these squash, and I'm sure it would work for a pumpkin too, in nothing flat. So all I did was bend this little tab up, hold it like that, scraped it right out, and just like that it was cleaned out, which was a great tip. I don't remember who that came from, but whoever it was, thank you very much for suggesting this. It's one of those flip top things that probably went on a 15-ounce can. Anyway, it worked great. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and make these in my Pyrex bowls simply because they fit so perfectly in there. But if you don't have a bowl that's that size, you could also put two of them down in a little cake pan, like a pound cake thing, or a loaf pan. I think that would work too. Anyway, so we went and got some apples and sweet potatoes at the farmer's market a week or so ago. So that's what we're going to put. Now watch this. That's what we're going to put in here. Look how perfectly that fits in there. So I'm not going to wrap them up or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and peel the apples. Now, I've got this little apple peeler thing on my website under products I highly recommend. And I think this is on there too. That's a core for an apple, and it works great. So I'll just do one of these and show you how quick and easy it is. All right. So it's got a little razor blade cutter in there, and we just start out. And it's that quick. Plus, these things are not expensive at all. And then you just turn it back around. Take this one off. Now, if the apples are nice and round, it works a lot better. Plus, I've used this blade, and now I've got extra blades, but I wanted to go ahead and use this one, the blade that's on it, just as much as I can. So you come up, and it's got a little spring, see, in there, and it sticks right to the skin of the apple. It doesn't work real well unless the apple is round, like it would work really well on a Rome apple. And it works pretty well on these too. These apples are golden delicious, and they are from North Carolina mountains. And they were so fresh, some of them still had the leaf and the stem on them. Anyway, so we're going to core the middle of this. This little thing is serrated on the end, and what I do is just stick it in there and just keep twisting it. Get right down in the middle of it, like that. Take that core out. Let me get a little knife. And then just cut the rest of it off right there. That little part right there. Now what I usually do is feel on the inside of it and see if I feel any of those little holes that sometimes you miss. And if there are more in there, which there's not on this one, I take it and angle it just to make sure I get those little hole things out that cover the seed. So there's one. Let's do another one. Try to go right down in the middle. In fact, we'll go down from the other side this time. Just twist it to get it started. Just go right through to the top, just twisting it the whole time. And see, now that core wasn't exactly in the middle of the apple. So, can you see there's still, so what I do is just angle it the next time and go back in there and get the rest of the holes in there. Like that. See? It's easy, easy, easy. And this thing and the core are not expensive at all. So cut that little bit of peeling out there on the top and the bottom. It doesn't quite get the bottom of them. All right, there they are. North Carolina Golden Delicious apples. Get that little bit of peeling out of there. All right, I see a little more whole in this one, so I'm going to have to go in and get a little bit more of it out. You can feel them because that little core is hard. There we go. Got it out. All right, perfect. All right, so let me move this over now. So with Sharon's recipe, you put 2 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and I'm trying to think, 2 tablespoons of butter. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and put the butter and everything down in the apple. But I'm also going to use a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of nutmeg. So I'm going to go ahead and dust that in because this is going to be a dessert type thing. Just a little bit of the nutmeg. And even, let me move y'all closer, a little closer, there. Yeah, we got a rainy day going on here, so it's a good day to bake stuff. A little more in there. Now this is going to, of course the apple has got plenty of moisture in it, and so does the acorn squash, so I'm sure the bowl's going to catch it all, but that juice is really, really good. All right, so we're going to put 2 tablespoons of honey in there. I'm just going to squirt it down like that. Like that. And then I've had my butter out just a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and approximate 2 tablespoons of butter. That would be 1, that would be 2. 1, 2. And I'm just going to shove them down in there like that. And of course the apples juice is going to run out in there too. And now we want to do 2 tablespoons each of brown sugar. Let me get my spoon out. So I'm using the dark brown sugar just because I like it best. So I think what we'll do is put 1 tablespoon down the bottom like that. That, and I'm going to put 1 tablespoon right on top and mash it down like that, because I want these apples to get brown on top too. Just mash it down like that. So this is a variation of Sharon, I think it was from her mother, and can you imagine how this would look for a dessert on Thanksgiving Day? This would be gorgeous. Excuse me. You could also put some raisins in there, all kinds of ideas, nuts, everything. Anyway, this is going to be a dessert, so we're going to cook this for about an hour and then we'll check it and see how done it is, because I've got my oven on 350 or 375. Anyway, we'll be back when these are done. Okay, we are back, and the acorn squash and the whole apples have finished cooking. It's several hours later. We have had our big meal of the day hours ago, and so I left these in the oven just to keep them warm. Here's what one of them looks like, and I am going to taste of this. Now this one doesn't look quite as good, but anyway, let me turn this down so you can see them. There it is. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and give this a taste. They're definitely done. Get me some apple and some butternut squash. I'm excited to see the flavor that this is going to be, because I put some cinnamon and some nutmeg on it, and of course it's got the brown sugar. Here it goes. Let me get another bite. That apple is really good too. Those are golden delicious. All right, one more bite. I think that next time I fix these, I would only use 1 tablespoon of the brown sugar. They're not too sweet, but I like them not quite as sweet. Make it yet another bite. That apple is really good too, really good. They did get brown on top. Now I was cooking some barbecue chicken and also another roast in the oven, and I just put these 2 in, so they cooked about 1 hour and 45 minutes all total. All right, the third bite. Yeah, I'm going to cut this in 2 because we did have a lot. We had a really big meal today. The 4th bite. This is really good. So what I'm going to do is cut this in 2, put part of it in one bowl and part of it in the other, and we'll be back and let you see what it looks like in the bowl when it's cut in 2. All right, there's what it looks like in the bowl. Now, if I would offer some suggestions, I think it would be great if you stuffed that middle of the apple with raisins, nuts, maybe even cranberries, whatever you could think of would go really well. And the other thing, and I'm sure I'm going to be doing these again, the other thing I would do is go ahead and wrap them in the heavy-duty tin foil, and I think the steam would cause them to cook probably in about 1 hour. But anyway, I wanted them brown. See how brown they got? But anyway, or the other thing you could do is kind of cut that apple in half across that way, and just put half the cored apple in each one, depending on what the size of the acorn squash were. It's delicious, y'all. And the other thing I would do is not put 2 full tablespoons of the brown sugar and the 2 tablespoons of the honey. I'd probably just use 1 tablespoon of the brown sugar, but still it's good. You get that little slightly sour taste from the apples, and then the sweet taste from the squash. It's really good. Oh, and I got to share something with y'all. I almost forgot this. Let me turn this up. So our Walmart, for the grocery pickup service, stopped it until I think the 1st of October, or the first week of October, and so we couldn't pick up groceries then. So I ended up having to go to the grocery store. Poor me, right? So then today, or last night, I did my order, and I went to choose my time for to pick up, and it said the next available pickup was November the 6th. And I said, what? November the 6th? Oh man, I was upset. I was thinking, what in the world are these people doing? Have they gotten so busy that I'm going to have to choose my pickup time a week in advance? So sure enough, I had the number to call for the pickup service, so I called them first thing this morning, and they said, oh no, it would have been no problem, except they are redoing their whole section. I think they're increasing it, and they've got new refrigeration in there and new freezer equipment. And so, of course, I had to go to the store. And so the good news is I was going out of town on the store where the Buy Low store closed. I think it's been 2 years now. And so we haven't really had anywhere we could run out and, you know, pick up a quart of milk, or we couldn't run out and get anything. We've got a Dollar General here, and they do have milk, but you know, sometimes you need different stuff at a full grocery store. So there's a big sign, Piggly Wiggly is opening that store. I was so excited, and Mr. Bucky told me 2 days ago that he saw they had put up a Piggly Wiggly sign, and I still had my doubts. So sure enough, it's going to be a Piggly Wiggly. Now this is not the same as the first Piggly Wiggly they had in that store. This one is owned by a different company, and I have actually gone to the one in the town next to us because that's the only place I can get the Adlu flour and a few other things that are real South Carolina things. So I was just absolutely delighted. They were probably, let me guess and say 15 cars in front of there parked kind of up to the door, and you could tell there were a lot of people in there working. And then the sign that was the big plastic sign at the front said opening soon, so I got very excited about that. And also excited because the Walmart is increasing their area for the grocery pickup. So, and y'all, I gotta tell you, I walked all over that store and I remember how tired I used to get, and I got that tired today. So the grocery pickup has just been a godsend. It really has, not just for me, but for many, many people. And the thing is that when they pick out your groceries, they most of the time are going to pick out better than what you could pick out because they have access to all the back rooms and the precious stuff, and that's what you get. So anyway, all right, y'all, I hope y'all will try some version of this stuffed acorn squash with the apple. I do think those two taste together are great. And thanks again to Sharon Opstbaum for the original recipe that was from her mother, I think, or it was her mother, yeah. And with the pork chop. And these are delicious, and they would be great for Thanksgiving or Christmas. I mean, you could fix a whole bunch of them in a big pan. And I would put tin foil over them, though, because I think holding the steam in would probably cook them a little faster. I'm thinking an hour. Now, I originally had my oven at 375 when I was doing the chicken, so I just went ahead and cut it down to 350, and everything was in there, including the roast. So it worked out great. All right, y'all, we're going to watch some TV tonight. I'm tired from the day and from walking all around in Walmart. We'll see y'all next time. Bye for now.